Okay. So look, I'll start again. This evening, we're going to be talking about how to have complete control of our emotions. And as I said a moment ago, when I first broached the idea, people said, doesn't it make us less human? If we have complete control of our emotions, doesn't it make us less human? I honestly believe that it makes us a more advanced human being. As I was saying, from the beginning, for the majority of people on this planet, I'm talking, the majority of people, we're slaves to our emotions. We feel something, whether it's anger or jealousy or whatever that feeling may be, and we assume it's just the way it is. Now I'm feeling like it, there's nothing I can do about it. And for a lot of people, they indulge themselves in that emotion. You can go and get anger management classes. If instead of having anger management classes, if you just go to what I'm going to teach you to do, go to neutral emotion, you don't need to do it. But people feel they have a right to be angry. People have broken their rules, so they're going to be angry. And I've had many clients come to see me for anger problems. And here's the thing about most people who are angry, they rarely take it out on people at work or their bosses. And so it's generally people suffering from anger problems take it out on their family, the people they love, people who love them, who are less likely to leave if they vent their anger on them. And I find that all the time. I had a man came to see me once, and he was talking about, he said, I've got these anger problems. And he's talking about his daughter, his teenager, and his wife, and how I said, do you speak to your boss like that? He said, no. I said, do you speak to your work colleagues like it? He said, no. I said, well, he's just a fucking bully. And he started to cry with the actual realization that that is what he was doing. It's just a bully, because he wouldn't take it out on anyone that it mattered, mattered in his business. So if you can control yourself in those situations, then all you're doing is indulging yourself in the situations where people aren't going to leave. So anyway, I've seen a lot of people, and I will say it, in my therapy room or on Zoom, I'm going to be honest with my clients, and I know that so many people indulge themselves in their emotions. The first thing we have to understand and accept, and there's a few men here, but it's worse for men. It's hard for us to accept we're behaving badly. And so that's the first thing to do, is to accept that the emotion we're feeling is not only detrimental to us, but it's detrimental to the people around us. And then realize that nothing exists outside of our head except as perception. And all that's going on in our head is electrically excitable cells and neurons and all those kind of stuff that I have no idea about talking about, but all those kind of things in our brain. Doesn't exist outside of our head. So that being said, and I include pain, I include physical and emotional pain when I say that. So once we understand that, then we can decide how we want to feel. We can say, this emotion I'm feeling, is it serving me or is it not serving me? Is it of benefit or is it detrimental? And if it's detrimental, we can say, we can change it. We can decide not to be angry. What about if we can just decide to be happy and say, today I'm going to be happy? So when I had this idea that we could do this, and the idea started formulating in my mind, at the time, as usual, with most of the things I developed, my wife Marion was the guinea pig. And I don't mean that detrimental. She looks nothing like a guinea pig. She doesn't speak like a guinea pig or anything, but she, in metaphorical terms, I used her as a guinea pig. We had these our kids at the time were driving us crazy. I mean, they still do, but they were in their teens and they were horrific, to be honest with you. So she'd wake up in the morning shaking and scared and worried about our kids, and it was making her ill. So I said, look, let me do this technique that I've developed. And so I ran it with her. And at that point in time, I said, you can just switch off your emotions. And it worked so well that she just switched off her emotions completely. Then a few days later, she said, I don't care about anything. To the point where she said, I don't care if I walk out in front of a bus, which is not a good thing to feel. You know, nothing that was affecting her before was affecting her. And it was like a dead, like no feelings at all. So I learned to be more prescriptive, to choose what you want to feel. And it's not, what I'm going to show you today is not about switching off all your emotions. It's not about, I don't care. It's a feeling of neutral. It's going to neutral emotion. Because in neutral, we can make the right decisions. We can take the right action. We can get the right outcome. Most of the big decisions you've made in your life have been made in an emotional state. And when we're emotional, we're not functioning properly. We're not functioning optimally. I used to coach boxing for quite a few years. And I used to say to my fighters, before they step through the ropes into the ring, I'd say, look, the worst thing that can happen in that ring is you're going to get angry. And your opponent is going to try and make you angry. He's going to call your girlfriend names. He's going to call your mother names. He's going to call you names. He's going to do everything to make you angry, because he knows when you're angry, you're not functioning properly. All of the things you learned go out the window when you're angry. And so the idea we're going to teach you today is that any situation where you need to be thinking straight, where you need to make the right decision, you can go to neutral emotion. And that's just said, that's not, I don't care. That's not, I don't feel, it's neutral. And that's what I'm going to teach you today. Of course, when I developed this technique, it occurred to me, if we can kind of negate a negative or eliminate a negative emotion, then we can ramp up a good emotion. So love, happiness, pleasure, passion, all of those things that, you know, that we're able as human beings to feel. If you're in a situation where you're feeling love, or you're feeling passion, or you're feeling pleasure, I'm going to show you how to ramp that right up so you can take that to the max. Because as I said, none of it exists outside of our head. So I'm going to show you how to do this today, to give you the ability to do this. As I said earlier, when people said to me, doesn't it make you more robot if you can just switch off an emotion? And I said to you, I think it makes us a more advanced human beings. I'm going to say something else. And this might sound a bit far-fetched, but I also believe that the ability to have control of our emotions will be the next evolution in humankind. From the beginning of mankind, we've been slaves to our emotions. To have control of our emotions and to say, okay, I'm in pain, I'm in emotional pain. I'm going to go to neutral. To be able to do that, you know, I think it's, someone will know the poet I'm talking about. It might be Yeats, one of those old time poets who said, if you can keep your head while all around are losing theirs, I think it's a better man you'll be. Does anyone know that poem? But it's a, well, Nolene, you know it. Do you remember who it is by? Do you know it, Phil?
Yeah, it's Rudyard Kipling. Yeah.
Rudyard Kipling, yeah.
I don't know it well, but just enough to say the answer.
Well, that's really what this technique's talking about. The times when you need to be thinking straight, when you need to be functioning, be thinking, you know, to making decisions. I said this in one of our trainings, and my son always cringes. My son Anthony, who works with me, cringes when I say certain things. And we were teaching our students how to do this, what I call TPM, total perception management, which is what I'm going to show you today. And I said, you know, never decide to get married when you're madly in love with someone. That is not the time to make that decision when you can't wait to see each other. You can't wait to get together. You know, when you're in those throes of passion, that's not the time to decide to get married. Wait for a few months when you're having a cup of tea or coffee together and you're wondering what to say to each other. And if you still decide you want to be with that person forever, then make that decision. Don't make it when you're in the throes of passion. And so he cringes when I say things like that, but it's true. Most of the big decisions we make in our life are made in an emotional state. And when we're emotional, we're not functioning optimally. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. So if you ever need to make a really important decision, or if you're hurting, or if you're feeling angry or frustrated, or any of those emotions that you know are detrimental to your well-being and to the people around you, you'll be able to go to neutral. And where you can make a new decision, where you can take the right actions, get the right outcome you want. So a lot of you know the arrow technique, which I use for pain. And some of you use for pain. I know some of you are using these techniques already. If you already know how to do the arrow technique, then you'll pretty soon learn how to do this technique, because it uses the arrow to help you get to neutral. And Jess is here, and in our lesson the other day, we were talking about anchoring. And this is how to anchor a feeling of neutral. I'm going to show you to do that. So in any situation where you need to get to neutral, you know that the way you're thinking or the way you're feeling is detrimental, to be able to go to neutral. I'm going to show you to do this. And I say, for me, of all the things I've developed and created in hypnosis, for me, this is the most powerful and the most important, to be honest with you. So that's what we're going to do. Is there any questions? Right, so I'm going to run this through with you, because I know some of you are therapists, and I know that some of you, I want you to learn how to do this. We teach it on our training, and some of you have been on my training, I know, and some of you are on my training. But we teach this on there. But if you're not, then you're going to be able to learn to do it, because I want you to understand how to do this. So the first thing we're going to do, because we're hypnotists, and even if you're not a hypnotist, you don't need to be a hypnotist to use this. But because I'm a hypnotist, I'm going to hypnotize my client. It doesn't have to be a very deep hypnosis, but because I know you're all trance junkies here, I am going to take you into a deep hypnotic state tonight, right? Because I know you love it. Look, you're all right, Alexandra, laughing, but you know who I'm talking about, don't you? So I'm going to use a deep hypnosis for you. So you'd start with your hypnosis, you run the arrow technique. So you get your client to separate from their physical being, go up where Chris is in the stars, looking down at the planet Earth. And then we're going to use that target. And in the target, we're going to put every negative emotion that's ever hurt you or affected you. Hurt, pain, sadness, sorrow, frustration, anger, jealousy, all of the things that hold us back and create problems in our life. And then we're going to use the arrow technique to eliminate those feelings from your body. So you enter a space of neutral. And it is going to be very weird for you, for a lot of you, because most of us have never experienced neutral. We're normally in some emotional state. To go into a neutral state of emotion is going to be a bit strange for you, but I promise you're going to love it. And then when you're in that emotional state, in the state of neutral, I'm going to anchor it with a sound. And we're going to do this 2 or 3 times till that feeling of neutral is anchored to that sound. So you'll then be able to trigger the feeling of neutral by accessing the sound. I'm then going to take you once again back up, even higher than before. You're going to love it, I promise you. And then the next time in that target, and this is how we're going to end the session today, because you're going to take this into the weekend. I'm going to put that every positive emotion that you've ever felt, and some of you've never felt before, passion, pleasure, love, happiness, joy, all of those beautiful feelings that we as human beings have access to. We're going to stack that target with those feelings. And then the second time round, as we go through that target, your mind and body is going to be flooded with the most intense feelings of love, happiness, joy, pleasure, all of those things, right? And then we're going to anchor that feeling with another sound. So that any time when you're in a state of pleasure, or you're in with your family, or you're experiencing love, or whatever it might be, and you think, this is wonderful, I want to increase that feeling, you're going to be able to ramp it up and take it to its max. And that's where you're going to be. And you'll bear in mind, there's a handful of people on this planet can do what you'll learn to do tonight. And the power it's going to give you over your own self is going to be immense, right? So that's what my intention is tonight. We are recording this because luckily Marie reminded me, Doreen. So we are recording it. And you can look back at it and learn it if you want. You know, people say to me, I'm really generous. It's easy because I haven't got any money. It's easy to be generous when you haven't got any money. But, you know, I want everyone to learn how to do these things. I want you to be able to help your kids have control of their emotions. I've got a 19-year-old son, and when lockdown came, he was 17. And so all of a sudden, we were in the same space, but normally he'd be in his bedroom. So because we've been at the same space for so long, we started to talk to each other again. And because my only, it's not a vice, but because I'm not a gambler, I say I don't gamble, but I play poker, right? So I don't believe it's gambling. I think it's a skill. That's my conscious mind making an excuse for why I like playing poker. So anyway, I said to him, look, he said, can we have a game of poker? I said, sure. So I taught him, much to his mother's disgust, I taught him how to play poker. But I also, as a way of teaching him how to have control over his emotions, I said, look, when you're playing poker, you mustn't show any emotion. You mustn't show, oh, I've got a good hand or whatever else. You need to be completely in control of your emotions. So I taught him how to go to neutral. That was my excuse for teaching him how to do it, with the idea being that he can take that skill into all the other areas of his life. And hopefully he is, you know, apart from losing all his money playing poker, he can take that skill into everything else he does. So I think it's a great thing to teach your kids if you've got kids. It's a wonderful thing to have for yourself. And remember to use it, because there are times when you are going to get frustrated and you are going to get angry, or you are going to feel a negative emotion, to know that you have the ability to go to neutral. You know, I've spoken before about one of my other techniques. I come up with these things all the time. The blink and delete technique, you know, where hands up if you've heard me talk about it, hands up if you, yeah. Well, some of you haven't heard me say it. So I'm going to teach you this as well. It's going to be a really in-depth teaching evening today, all right? So the blink and delete technique is this. When we come up against a block in our life, you know, when that voice goes in our head, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm never going to achieve this, I can't let go of that. Whenever we come up against a block, you ask this question: when did I make that decision? How old was I? Where was I? Who was I with? And was it even my decision? Here's one of the saddest things about us as human beings. Most of the beliefs we have about ourselves, what we're capable of, who we are, what we can, what we cannot do, most of those beliefs, even our religious beliefs, were created, get this, by a child under 7. That's a scary thought, to think that most of your beliefs about who you are and what you can and cannot achieve was made by a child under 7. Alexandra, how old is that your little girl there? Yeah?
Yeah, she's 10 now. So yeah.
How old?
10. Right now she's 10.
10?
Yes.
Hiya. Well, as beautiful as she is, and as lovely as she is, you would not want her making a lifelong decision at 10 about what she's capable of, what she can achieve, would you? And yet most of us have made those decisions before we're 7. You would not have a 5-year-old girl making a lifelong decision about what she's capable of. So when we ask the question, when we come up against a block, I'm not any good at this. I'm never going to achieve that. I can't do this. When we come up against one of those blocks in our mind, we just ask this question: when did I make that decision? How old was I? Where was I? Who was I with? And was it even my decision? And I promise you, the moment you ask that question, you'll immediately go to where you made the decision. You won't take 3 years of therapy and regression work to get there. You'll immediately go there. So once you go to where you made the decision, you ask this next question. Now that I've evolved, because you have, you are not the same person you were a week ago, and you're definitely not the same person you were 20 years ago. You have learnings and skills and strengths, and you've evolved. So you ask the question, now that I've evolved, is that decision any longer viable? Or is it an obsolete decision that I made in a less informed state? And if the answer comes back, no, that's no longer viable, that decision, you blink twice and you delete that decision. Right? I'll go over it again. You ask this question: when did I make the decision? How old was I? Where was I? Who was I with? And was it even my decision? You'll instantly go to where you made the decision. It'd be pretty scary, I'll tell you, because the chances are many times you'll go back to before you were 7. You then look at that decision again from where you are now, from the evolved state you're in now, and you ask this next question: now I've evolved, is that decision any longer viable? Or is it an obsolete decision I made in a less informed state? And if the answer comes back, no, it's no longer viable, then you blink twice and you delete the decision. And then you go to neutral, which I'm going to show you how to do in a moment, and you make a new decision. Because in neutral, you can make the right decision, you can take the right action, you can get the right outcome. And that's why I'm telling you about blink and delete, because it uses neutral to make that new decision. Make that decision where you are now. You know, it's my belief that everything about us, you know, our instinctive, intuitive being is geared toward thriving. It wants you to thrive. Given the opportunity, you will thrive. Everything about you is geared toward thriving. But we're only making decisions. We're making decisions with the information we have right now. And we're all different ages here. Alexandra's little girl would be making decisions, the best decision she can make as a 10-year-old, from the information she has at 10 years old. And that's why she has a mum there to guide her, to say that's maybe not the best decision. But so we are making decisions. I've seen over 25,000 people to help them quit smoking. 25,000, over. And I can count on maybe 2 hands the amount of those people that started smoking as an adult. Everyone else started as a kid, 10, 12, 13. I was 11, my brother was 9. I've seen people start smoking at 7. Their granddad gave them a cigarette. But most of those people, and in fact, there's 1.3 billion people on this planet who smoke cigarettes, 1.3 billion. The majority of those people would have started smoking as a kid. They made that decision when they were a child. I rarely see people of 20 who started smoking, or 30 that started smoking, unless they're smoking joints and then go on to cigarettes. But other than that, everyone has been a kid. It seems a reasonable thing to do at 13 to smoke, just be keeping with your friends. We look back at it at 30 and realize that was a stupid decision. Now we're stuck with a habit. So to look at that decision and go, is it any longer viable? Does it, you know, I no longer need a cigarette to feel attractive. I no longer need a cigarette to keep in my friends. Okay, well, let's get rid of that decision. But there are hundreds of decisions we've made throughout our life. We can look back and go, it's no longer viable. Blink twice, delete that decision, go to neutral, make a new decision. We can keep upgrading. You would not be working with a computer that was 30 years old. And yet most of the things in our head that the programming, if you like, in our head is ancient. So, but we have the ability with self-hypnosis, and like Jessa meditates, to use meditation and to use self-hypnosis, we can continue to upgrade. That's what we have between our head. We have the most incredible computer, and we can keep upgrading it. We don't have to stay as we are. We don't have to live with old decisions. So we're going to, the blink and delete technique, use it, and you'll find yourself using it all week. Whenever that voice goes, you can't do this. You know, when I say the question you ask yourself, when did I make the decision? How old was I? Where was I? Who was I with? That last part of that question, who was I with? Many times you'll find that the decision wasn't even yours. It was someone else's opinion about what you're capable of. Maybe a well-meaning teacher or a parent, but you're a child and they're an adult. And you go, well, they're an adult, I'm a child, that must be true. And we live our life believing that that's true when it was only ever someone else's opinion. So use the blink and delete technique, which I've just shown you how to do. And I think might be a little video out somewhere on my YouTube channel showing you how to do it anyway. But we go, the reason I'm telling you this is because with the blink and delete, we use neutral. When we've blinked twice and deleted the old decision, we go to neutral to make a new decision about that. So that's the blink and delete technique. But this next technique, which I'm going to show you now, I'm going to take you through it, is TPM, Total Perception Management, how to have complete control of your emotions. And I know you're going to love it. I know you're going to use it. Okay, so are there any questions about this before I take you into the most profound state of hypnosis? Any questions? No? All right, it is Friday evening, so you know, if I seem a bit relaxed, it's probably a good reason for it. Right, so let's get into this together this evening. Know that I want the best for you. Look on it as a bit of time out, and this weekend you're going to have complete control of your emotions. Here's the other thing about having complete control of your emotions. If you ever get into an argument, and I hope you don't, the moment you go to neutral, you negate the other person's power. When you're in an argument and you're getting angry or you're getting frustrated, then you're giving that person your power. If you can stay in neutral, then you negate their power. Just think about that for a moment, because you're going to have the ability to do it. Okay, you don't have to live with hurt and pain and those kind of feelings that are detrimental to you. You can go to neutral, but in some cases, if you really set your mind on it, you can just turn that feeling off. I don't need to be hurting over something that happened 10 years ago. I don't still need to feel sad about something that was said or done 20 years ago. I don't need to live with the regrets about what I could have done or should have done or would have done if things had been different. It's of no consequence anymore. There is only this moment that we're living in. And I'm going to show you how to do this, all right? And I know some of you, like, you know, Alexandra's with a little girl there, to be in that moment and then to think about that sometimes and ramp that feeling up. To feel that feeling of love and whatever it is that you feel there, and enjoy that moment at its max. You know, and show people how to do this. All right, okay, so if you're ready to get into this, you know how to do this. Assume the position, as the police would say. Get into your hypno position. Okay, that's right. And when you're ready to do this, take a deep breath in. Hold it for a moment. As you breathe out, think about the love you've experienced this week. Think about the people you love, people that love you. Maybe think about the people you've helped this week with your understanding, your love and kindness, and allow yourself to get into that feeling. As you do that, let that feeling of love go down through your body like a bliss anesthesia, every muscle, nerve, and fiber relaxing. Just listen to my voice. Every word I say is going to take you deeper and deeper into that feeling. You are love. You are loved. You are loving. Get a sense of that now as you drift deeper and deeper into hypnosis. Imagine it's happening automatically. Imagine there's nothing you can do about that. It's right, deeper and deeper into that wonderful feeling. Just drifting down into the most beautiful space. In a moment, I'm going to count down from 10. And with every number down, your body is going to enter a state of total bliss. But at the same time as counting down from 10, I'm going to be counting up from 1. And with every number up, your mind becomes clearer and stronger and more focused on how you want to feel, on what you want to achieve. And at some point as I'm counting, your mind will separate from your body completely. It will be the most incredible experience of freedom and bliss. So with every number down, your body enters a state of total bliss. Every number up, your mind becomes stronger and clearer. 10. Body relaxing, every muscle, nerve, and fiber. 1. Your mind is clearer, stronger than it's ever been before. 9. Every muscle, nerve, and fiber relaxing like a bliss anesthesia. Get a sense of it happening automatically. 2. Every limiting belief that was ever placed on you is swept from your mind. Get a sense of your mind being washed through with clear spring water and just washing out every limiting belief that's ever held you back. 8. Going deeper, deeper down into hypnosis. Feel yourself just dropping down through space and time. Get a sense of that happening, just you and the sound of my voice. Every word I say takes you deeper and deeper into that wonderful feeling. 3. Every negative thought that ever held you back is swept from your mind. 7. The body goes deeper, deeper down into a state of total bliss. Nothing bothers or affects you, nothing disturbs you. 4. The mind begins to separate from the body. 6. The body enters a state of total bliss now. Less and less aware of yourself as a physical being, but totally aware of yourself as a mind. The essence of who you are, which is pure light, pure joy, and pure love. Get a sense of that now. 5. The mind separates completely from the body and drifts without boundaries, without borders. Just for a moment, think of something you'd love to achieve or a way you'd love to feel, and let go of every negative limiting belief, every inhibition, let it go. Think of a way you'd love to feel, something you'd love to achieve, and get a sense of yourself achieving it or feeling it. Notice the way you move and the way you breathe. That's right. Step into that body, feel into it. Get a sense of how it feels now. And ask the question, how much fun is this? How much fun can I make it? How enjoyable is it? Because now you know how good you're going to feel. Everything about your mind and body is inclined to make it happen. You have a super powerful unconscious mind that's working for you. It wants you to be happy. It wants you to be free. Get a sense of that now. 5, the body just drifts through time and space. You have no idea where your body is in time and space. The most incredible thing of liberation and freedom. And as I continue to count down from 5, every number now doubles that feeling. I want you to enjoy every moment. 4, going deeper, deeper, deeper down. 3, just dropping down into that space. Imagine it's happening automatically. There's nothing you can do about that. The most incredible feeling of freedom, liberation. 2, going even deeper now. 1, the wonderful feeling of love and freedom and joy. Get a sense of that flooding your body. 0, now you're in that space. Just you, the sound of my voice, and a feeling of freedom. And as you drift even deeper now, you can use your unconscious mind as a resource and inner strength. Get a sense of that happening now. That's right. Now get a sense once again of drifting up out of your body, the essence of who you are. Some cultures call it the spirit, the soul, but the essence of who you are, that intangible part of a human being, that is pure love, pure light, pure joy. Get a sense of separation, leaving your body in that chair for a while. And just for a moment, look back at that body and show it some appreciation. How incredible is your body? Your body and mind is the most incredible creation in the known universe. Just for a moment, get a sense of how incredible you are. And as the essence of you, who you are, drifts away, notice that the essence of who you are is ageless. It's infinite, has no edge. And understanding that as incredible as your body is, you are not your body. And that whatever you thought you were, you are far, far more than that. Get a sense of drifting higher and higher, further and further away from that body in that chair. Get a sense of drifting up into the sky like a helium balloon that some young girls let go of in the park, and just drifting up higher and higher. Get a sense of drifting so high now that you can look back at the planet Earth and see that beautiful blue planet just spinning in space. How incredibly lucky are we to have landed on this planet, of all the planets in the universe. Get a sense of that planet spinning through space and notice how your perspective changes as you look at that beautiful planet from way off. Things that had seemed overwhelming no longer have any power over you. Things that had seemed hard or difficult to overcome no longer have any power over you. You are incredible, you are loved, and you are loved, and you are loving. And the essence of who you are is pure light, pure energy, pure intelligence, and pure love. Get a sense of that now. Now in your mind's eye, see a target, like an archery target, a massive target between you and that beautiful planet. See the colored bands, you can see the very center, the bullseye. Now in the center of that target is every negative emotion that's ever held you back or was ever placed on you. Every ounce of hurt, pain, sadness, frustration, anger, jealousy, every negative emotion you've ever experienced that's ever held you back is in the center of that target. In a moment, I'm going to make this sound. As I make that sound, You're going to be fired straight through that target and straight out the other side into a space of neutral. And every negative emotion that was ever placed on you, every ounce of hurt, pain, sadness that was ever placed on you will be swept from your mind and your body. And you'll enter a state of neutral. And it will seem strange because you may have never experienced neutral before. So get ready. As I make that sound, you're going to be fired through that target into a space of neutral. Get ready. And now you're in that space. Nothing bothers or affects you. Nothing disturbs you. You are in neutral emotion. And in neutral, you can make the right decisions, take the right actions, get the right outcome. Get a sense of that now as you just drift in that space of neutral. And as you experience neutral, I'm going to snap my fingers once. And the sound is going to anchor that feeling of neutral to that sound. From today, whenever you need to access neutral, you just snap your fingers once. And wherever you are, whatever's going on around you, you will access neutral emotion, where you can make the right decisions, take the right action, get the right outcome. Get a sense of that now. You're in neutral. You have access to all of your natural intelligence without interference from any emotion. Get a sense of that now. From today, whenever you enter a state of neutral, you snap your fingers once and the sound will take you instantly to that state of neutral. Once again, get a sense of drifting up higher and higher, even further than before, drifting away into the universe. See the planet Earth getting smaller and smaller. How incredible are you? Now, once again, see that target. See the colored bands in the center. Now, in the center of the target this time is every positive emotion that we as human beings can experience. Love, passion, pleasure, kindness, joy, pleasure. Every possible positive emotion that we as human beings can experience in the center of that target. In a moment, I'm going to make that sound again. As I make that sound, you'll be fired once again through that target. But this time, as you go through the target, your mind and body is going to be flooded with the most intense feelings of love and kindness and happiness and joy, freedom, every positive emotion that a human being can feel, you're going to feel. And your mind and body is going to be flooded with those feelings. It's going to take you to a space you may have never been before. So get ready. It will be intense, and I want you to enjoy every moment. As I make that sound now, you're going to go through that target, and your mind and body is going to be flooded with the most intense, incredible feelings of love and joy and happiness, pleasure, peace, kindness. Get ready. And now you're in that space. And feel those feelings now flooding your body and mind. How incredible are you to experience that feeling? Feel it flooding your body and mind. Love and happiness and joy and pleasure and bliss. And as you experience it, I'm going to snap my fingers twice quickly and feel it ramping up. Feel that feeling getting stronger and stronger now. The most incredible feelings of love and joy and happiness and pleasure. Feel it getting stronger and stronger. And from today, whenever you're experiencing a positive emotion and you want to take that feeling to its max, you snap your fingers twice quickly and feel that feeling getting stronger and stronger now. From today, whenever you want to ramp up a really good feeling, when you want to increase a feeling of love or joy or happiness or pleasure, you snap your fingers twice and you'll instantly ramp that feeling up. Feel it now. Feel your mind and body being flooded with love and joy and happiness. And notice that your body cannot contain that much happiness and joy. Feel it spreading beyond you, rippling out to the edge of the universe. And you're at the center of that feeling of love and light and joy. Feel it now. Feel it getting stronger and stronger. Because from today, whenever you're in a state where you want to feel it to its max, you snap your fingers twice. That sound will take that feeling up and up. Get a sense of it now, because you are love. You are loved and you are loving. The essence of who you are is pure light, pure joy, and pure love. That is who you are. Get a sense of it now. Feel into it. And notice as your body's flooded with those incredible feelings, that every ounce of doubt, every ounce of physical or emotional pain has gone from your body and mind, because it cannot coexist in your body and mind with that feeling of love and light and joy. Notice how it feels, because now you have access. You have complete control of your emotions. If you want to negate a negative emotion, you snap your fingers once, and that sound's going to take you to neutral, where you can make the right decisions, take the right actions. And if you're in a state of joy or happiness or love or pleasure or passion, and you want to take that to its max, you snap your fingers twice, and that sound will ramp up that feeling. Now you have complete control of you. You are love, you are loved, and you are loving. Imagine it's happened. There's nothing you can do about that, because now you have complete control of you. Go over with your unconscious mind as often as you need to know that you have control of your emotions. You no longer have to accept the emotion you're feeling in the moment. You can change it. You look at any decision you made in your life, you can change it. Your life is a process. You are evolving in every moment. You are the most incredible creation. In a moment, I'm going to count to 10. Every suggestion I've given you, your mind and body will act upon without hesitation. It's now your reality. On 8, your eyes will open. You will feel incredible. Take this feeling of joy and love and happiness into the weekend. Understand that love is the one commodity you cannot give away without getting more back. To be kind, to be loving, to enjoy, and to enjoy every moment. And on 10, that feeling of freedom, that feeling of love and joy is going to grow stronger day by day. Now you have complete control of your emotions. So get ready as I count to 10. On 8, your eyes will open. You will feel incredible, because you are incredible. And on 10, that feeling is going to grow stronger day by day as you take back complete control of you. So you can create the life you want, create the body you want, create the health you want. 1, feeling absolutely wonderful. 2, to create the body, the health, the happiness you absolutely want. Know you're worthy of it. 3, feeling freedom from every limitation that was ever placed on you. 4, feel the force of that love and energy flooding your body and mind. 5, feel incredibly alive now. 6, 7, 8, eyes opening, feeling absolutely incredible. 9, 10. Excellent. So remember, I'm not going to make the sound. 1 snap to go to neutral. And I know some of you, I didn't realize I went to Las Vegas a couple of years ago, that very few women can click their fingers. So if you have to practice, right? One snap to go to neutral. If you need to think straight, if you need to make a decision, or if someone's trying to make you angry or frustrate you, and you realize that you're going into that emotion, then bring yourself to neutral. If you're in a state of pleasure or love or joy or happiness, then snap your fingers twice quickly and ramp that feeling up. We no longer have to be slaves to our emotions. We can take complete control. I hope you enjoyed this evening. And it's always great to see you all. Have a beautiful weekend wherever you are.
Thank you, Freddie. It was awesome.
Okay,
Thank you,
great.
Freddie. It was
Well, thanks,
great.
Maria.
It was very good. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Doreen,
you.
for being my
Thank you,
PA.
Freddie. Fantastic.
Good to see you.
Yes.
Thanks,
Okay,
Freddie.
Thank you.
have a beautiful weekend. Bye for now.
Good weekend,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
Freddie.
Thanks, Freddie.
Oh,
You're a
I'm on
star.
I'm on TikTok.
Thank you, everybody.
Have you
You're
done-
on TikTok.
Thank you, TikTok wizard.
So I'm making these short videos on TikTok. So check them out. And if
Alright.
you want to subscribe, follow me. You know what it means, right?
Fantastic.
But anyway, have a beautiful weekend. It's great to see you all.
You too.
Bye now.
Bye.
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 Thank you
Bye,
so much.
everybody.
Bye.